Oh my goodness again, Josh. What the heck just happened?
I have no idea, Darcy. That was a crazy episode.
Welcome back to Tardis Talks. My name is Darcy Rofe. I'm here with my co-host Josh Rimmer. And
Howdy.
We're here to talk about the latest Flux episode, Survivors of the Flux. And, I mean, there was a lot to this episode.
It was a very multi-layered, multi-plot story, and usually so far in the Flux series I haven't particularly enjoyed that, but this is the first one that's actually been able to pull it off to some success.
And it's like, it's so condensive because we don't stay in a particular location for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because everyone is just around the place like all the time, and I like the sort of like timestamps that they had where the group was, and then you kept cutting back to the doctor. I'd like to talk a little bit about the sort of conquest that went on between the amazing threesome, Yaz, Dan, and Dr. Jericho. I mean, I don't know exactly what they were doing.
They were trying to find the date for when all the different armies of the universe, at least those who survived, are going to come to Earth because of course Earth is the MacGuffin last planet in the entire galaxy that survived the Flux. Probably because of the Lupari, but...
Yeah, because and now the shield of Earth is breachable, as the Lupari said, and they... I didn't really get what they were doing because it was so convoluted. They go into all these different locations.
All these wise men.
And what the hell is going on? And then the other great thing about this episode is that a lot of the questions were answered. Like, what's Tunnel Guy doing there? What is Swarm doing there? Who's the fairy godmother? A lot of that was cleared up very clearly in one 50-minute episode, which I was quite impressed with.
Yeah.
Because it's not the Chibnall's strongest point, trying to explain origins, as we've seen from Series 12, but...
Yeah, Division. Just Gallifrey splinter group trying to bring order to the galaxy.
I just don't know what the Division's doing there, because... what is your problem? So the Doctor's getting in your way.
You wipe her mind, she has no idea what she's done.
No memory of anything. So apparently she's getting in your way, and you create a time storm, vortex, hurricane thing to try and stop her and shut her up, even though she's had her memory wiped. Like, if you had just left it alone, there would be nothing to worry about, because she clearly knows what the hell's going on now.
Exactly. Like, had they just not bothered her, had they just not existed, they just left her, nothing would have changed. They would have been completely fine. But because they let her go, and the fact she was just existing in the universe, they were like, oh, we have to mess with her. And then, I don't know, all this stuff with the Carvinister. Oh, so you could have just removed her memory again. You seem to be, quote-unquote, all-powerful, despite your leader being killed by a single guy.
I just couldn't understand what the Division was doing. They seem to mean well, but, in this episode, their true colours were revealed.
I think the best way to describe them is petty. Like, they would destroy an entire universe with a time storm because of one
person
who has
no memory. No memory of anything.
And is searching for one guy who doesn't...
It really is just a waste of the Division's, power.
Like Carvinister. I have a theory that Carvinister doesn't even know what the Division is. He's just chilling.
I thought he was a part of the Division.
Yeah, he is. But, so was the Doctor. And I have a theory that he was just a part... He left and he joined back with the Lupari.
Yeah.
It's not... So, even then...
Yeah.
There would have been no point.
The one thing that I do want to talk about, which I know is not going to surface well with a lot of you Whovians out there, I love them too, but what the hell was Unit doing in this episode? I mean, come on. That's just a waste of a great sort of Doctor Who storyline and a Doctor... Unit is a really cool... they're just so cool, but... They just feel wasted in this story.
Cause the only reason they were there is because the snake guy... They were just showing what happened to Unit. And then, if I had to guess from that little last bit at the end of the episode, it's probably just going to come back again. So there was no point. And even if they were scared of Unit, there's no way Unit would take on that many Sontaran ships at once.
Yeah. And also, I don't get what the whole big deal is with Kate Lethbridge Stewart blowing up a house.
Well, I think it was the snake guy blowing up her house, so she knew she was being watched. He was trying to.
Oh, he blew it up.
Yeah, he was trying to get rid of her.
I thought she blew it up. I don't know.
No. And then she went dark to escape, and then. Can we talk about it? I've been waiting a whole podcast to talk about it.
What?
In the last episode, if you guys have been keeping up, I was talking about how I was really, really looking forward to a Cyberman Dalek Sontaran war.
battle.
Like, I love the Sontarans, but they never really get any huge sweeping battles. And this series has been really fixing that. And now there's a pretty good chance there's going to be a huge war all across Earth where all the characters come in and we're going to see the Sontarans fight everyone. It's going to be great.
I would absolutely love to see that, and I think your theory about that, it's probably going to come true.
Yeah.
And if Chris Chibnall doesn't do that, I mean, I wouldn't like rip him apart, but I'd be a little disappointed since it's a very clear setup for that thing to happen.
Like, my idea for it is you're going to have two storylines, which seems to be the norm with this whole series. You're going to have one storyline of the Doctor dealing with Swarm and trying to take down Division or something, and then you're going to have the second one being about all the people on Earth trying to stop the huge war from actually blowing up the planet.
Yeah.
And then Bell and Vinder meet or something, because Earth is literally the last planet left.
And then, of course, there's Division, and there's the fairy godmother.
Who's the mother of Doctor.
The Doctor. So this is something that we have to talk about for a while. Tech Taeyoon is now the leader of Division since Gat has kind of just disappeared. I don't know what happened to Gat, but Tech Taeyoon, she's regenerated. Looks like a grandmother now. She looks like my nan, really. But
looks like mine too.
We got hints of it last series, and of course through videos on YouTube. But it's really displayed in this episode that Tech Taeyoon's just a bitch. I mean, seriously, you use a kid for experiments, but then she tries to align the Doctor with her own morality, that the Doctor collects people and adopts them and basically uses them so she can get out of scrapes, which is kind of not the point.
The thing about the Doctor, she never intentionally does it. She likes people, she invites them on her ship and they chill together.
Yeah.
And it's just, when you're on so many trips, eventually one of them's got to go wrong. But the difference is, Tech Taeyoon, it's intentional. She takes people out of their time streams and then uses them as soldiers, and that's messed up. Like that poor Oon who was just chilling.
I'm probably going to make a video on this sometime in the future. I have tried to make a video on it before, but I am really pissed off because, if you see a scene like regeneration, if you see a scene like this, you know what scene you're looking at.
Exactly.
You know what TV show it is, but now you can splice regeneration into yourself, which means if anyone got their hands on some Time Lord DNA, regeneration would be widespread across the galaxy. Yeah. That was a power iconic to Time Lords, but then Chris Chibnall ruined 57 years of Time Lord origin and storyline.
Yeah.
Massive FU to the audience there.
Yeah, but slowly.
I'm trying not to go on a rant, but because this has brought back some plot points from Series 12, which is cool and is really annoying.
Yeah. To counteract what you're saying, Darcy, I've very slowly been getting used to it, because now with the second time it seems like it's going to be permanent law now, and I've been thinking about it, and slowly it is making sense to me, because in almost every instance of the Doctor talking to literally any other Time Lord, it always ends in either an argument, gunfire, or death. Sometimes all three.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But then the thing that really bothers me about all this, Tech Taeyoon seemed to rise to power as like a head of Gallifrey or something, as we saw in Series 12. But the Doctor branched off, I suppose. But even if the Doctor had their memory wiped, my question still stands. Where was Tech Taeyoon throughout all the times the Doctor was on Gallifrey? Where was she in the Time War? Where was she when the Doctor kept returning to Gallifrey for one instance or another? It just messes up the whole thing. And then Tech Taeyoon just gets turned into dust. Like, Swarm, I get you're powerful, but you're not fucking Thanos, okay?
Exactly. She's talking a good game of being like the god, the controller who can move universes, and she's killed in 5 minutes. What? And then that was actually leading into another problem I had with this, with the hook and then the end cliffhanger. Like the beginning hook, right? From the last episode, the Doctor was turned into a freaking weeping angel. And that is crazy. That's cool.
And you get out within 1 second.
Like, it's like if you, I know this is only going to apply to people who actually do drama, but in drama, right? You're doing like a improvisation and you always got to say yes and, like you always take on offers. It's like they completely drop the offer and just like, oh yeah, the Doctor's in a weeping angel. What does this mean for her? Absolutely nothing. She leaves in the first 30 seconds.
It's stupid. I think she was getting transported somewhere.
Honestly, I think if they wanted to do that, just use a passenger. You don't need to use the weeping angels for that. They're just making them super, super OP with all these new kinds of abilities for no reason. I can't even be scared anymore because I remember... You remember one of the last episodes where she pulls a Sherlock Holmes and she starts analysing the scene and then she just somehow gets her way out of it? I think that's going to happen again with Swarm. Because Swarm, if they were really going to be scared, he would have already touched it. But, he's going so slow, she's probably just going to...
She literally,
She's just gonna
it's going to happen again.
What's the point?
The theories I have for next episode, I think you're correct. I think that the battle with the Sontarans, Cybermen, Daleks, it should happen, and I hope it happens. And another theory I have, I don't have too much, but I think the Doctor, there's going to be some consequences for the Doctor.
Yeah, I think there's going to be...
she might meet up with Tecteun again. They could resolve their differences. I have no idea. I really don't know.
My last theory before the final episode, I've got two extras. First one, that house that keeps popping up in the Doctor's visions.
Oh yeah, that
Some people have been talking about how it could be the house that the Doctor lived in, and if she was going to meet Tecteun, I can't say a freaking name.
Tecteun. Tecteun.
If she's going to meet her anywhere, it's going to be in that house. They're going to chill and then they're going to fight Swarm or something.
Yeah.
And my second theory, this one's
just whip out both sonic screwdrivers.
This one's really ballsy. I think Swarm is a version of the Master, one of the regenerations.
I think he is too. I really think he is.
You know his friend? I think that's Missy. Hear me out. So...
You are a genius.
Swarm... They took one of the regenerations of the Master. They were like, if we're going to do this, we're going to need the last two Time Lords still in that universe. So they plucked both of them, but in order for them to still be out there and not interfere, they wiped their memories before and after and took a single generation.
If this is the Master and Missy, because you're a genius, then that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be such an interesting reveal for the last episode. And it would explain why... because of the two, the Doctor is smart, but I have a feeling the Master, he's used to being controlled. I have a feeling he'd be able to see through the lies of the Jedi and realize that, I've actually been used. And the reason why he wasn't able to talk about that, the experiments went wrong, and it made them give that crystal disease thing.
Yeah.
So if they do that, that'd be great. And any excuse to get that new Master actor would be great because he's a great actor.
And so final ratings, what do we think?
Honestly, this is a really good introduction to the finale of the series. And I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 9 because of one, I felt Bell once again was pretty useless, but and the Snake guy felt also very useless, but the actual thorough storylines they implemented were really good, and Sontarans are back. They're not just a one-time villain. I'm so happy about it.
I'm going to give it an 8 because there's just a few problems I just had with it. I just can't get over, but it was a great episode. I really loved the reveal. I'm Tecteun. That was cool. I really liked that reveal, and I loved it. So
next week, the end
of Flux
and a huge war, hopefully. We're all praying.
Bring it on, baby. We'll see you next time, guys.
All right. Alonzi.
Geronimo.